We have a musical soap today, a gift from the Smaldridge family.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during the live premiere on YouTube, why, come on in the live chat. Join the With Pack, a cool group of folks hanging out. They'd love to meet you, too.
They would. And for our mention today, we wanted to show you these shelves again. We got them originally for our bowls and our brushes, but really, we've been using them for our soaps even more now.
Yeah, y'all, if you are having a crisis of space like we are, these do beautifully next to the sink hold the brushes and bowls so we have more room in our cabinet. But we also realized when you hang them on the doors, they hold the soaps perfectly on their edge. The Sterlings are here in this photograph. Y'all, these have been a godsend. And what is our soap today?
Our soap today was chosen for us. I guess it had come out and then went away. And as soon as it came back again, Sean made sure to get the pack to send our way.
Sammy, Dino, Frank Sinatra, y'all, let's meet this soap. All right, y'all, so since there is no sales copy other than the set notes on the website, we're going to read the message we got from the Smaldridge family from Instagram.com.
The pack is easily in my top 3 favorite scents. Perfectly captures the timeless 60s Rat Pack. Just amazing to my nose. Inspired by Roja Dove Manhattan. It was unobtainium for a while, but since Frank brought it back, I wanted to make sure to share it with you. I was thinking Frank Sinatra for a second. He meant Frank and Strike Gold Shake.
And I put on my Sinatra Lennon shirt, y'all, so strap in. We're in for some adventures today. Yeah. Let's take it out of the box. Let's see what we got going on.
Some bubble wrap.
Oh, you open that? I'll open that. Oh, it does look like we've got some extra stuff here. Yo, we've got some stickers. Yay! So our shaving cabinets can make shaving fun again. And we've got a sample of White House Christmas. A sample for y'all. We didn't have a chance to cover this one. And it might come back next year, so we don't want to spoil our first impression. So, hey, maybe we will give this away to someone in the live chat today. And we got the splash. Let's see. Look at this. We got a little shovel.
We got a shovel.
That says Strike Gold Shave. Yeah, y'all. This is to get out those hard pucks. I love it.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Is it a full set for the pack?
Oh, this is so cool. Y'all, look at the label. You got Frankie on there, y'all. Let's have our first impression. I'm trying to decide if I should go first or if you should go first.
I think you should. Sean said it was his 3rd favorite. That's kind of a thing.
All right, I'm going to dive in. You can ask me some
right
questions.
so far.
All right, here we go. We're taking it in.
Huh?
Yo!
What?
I don't mean to get y'all excited, but there might be some vanilla in here. Look at the color of that pour. Beautiful. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the shaking clam. Take
Mark
it
this way. Good long whiff.
Oh! The beautiful brown sugary sweets of the colognes of the 60s. It ends with the beautiful creamy candied citrus of the colognes from the 90s and the early 2000s. And then there's a giant thing in the middle that's beautiful.
Things are happening.
And then something in the middle that's beautifully rocky that doesn't let either side get too sweet. And all 3 of those become a juggling act. I usually talk about a tug of war with 2 set notes, 2 personalities pulling against each other.
No.
This is 3. Well, it's the Rat Pack! We all know who the important 3 are. Oh, and a gorgeous masculine floral for the lapel on the way out, the cologne of the tuxedo, the vibe of the room itself, and those might be the 3 characters that are pulling against each other here. Y'all, this is an adventure at the Sands. Hold on a second. A sort of a coffee caramely scent that builds out into 2 other worlds that are not that at all. But for me, that's kind of that grounding center.
That's kind of the color of the soap. It has a little bit of that darker character.
Right? And y'all, this is an homage to a Roja Dove cologne called Manhattan. And boy, do they have that right. This is reminiscent of some of the ritziest lofts, some of the most beautiful theaters, some of the most fun museums. Something about all of that is in here as well.
That's where they would be. So.
And I said museums, I almost didn't, because there is a classy factor when you walk into the Met and you're looking at these amazing things. There is that quality in this as well. Ooh, Sean, you are hired, my friend. If this is one of your top scents, I can totally see why. And again, leave it to the fine perfumers, but the balance is just magic because there is movement of those 3 juggling pins. As soon as my eye goes to one and it starts to fall, the other one goes up in the air and becomes a firework. What a gorgeous scent. And y'all look at my face. I am usually a little bit more blown away by the original shaving soap scents. But every once in a while, these cologne homages come along and just blow my skirt way up. This has got my fingerprint on it. And maybe it's the fact that there's a musical homage to it. I mean, the power of suggestion can be strong. Right? And it's funny, I do have some software that will turn this microphone very subtly into the exact microphone that Frank Sinatra used to record with at Columbia Records in Los Angeles. Kind of cool stuff.
But it's not necessarily gourmandy. It just has a sweet side.
Not at all. The spoon is in the drawer still. This is not something I want to put in my mouth, but the charm and the character in the center of this is almost familiar. And I'm just trying to figure out where I might know this from, but I think it's almost a place more than it is something that I've smelled like in a product before. Wow.
How much is it on like the masculine to feminine scale? I mean, I know it's more of a cologne homage, so I'm guessing.
Well, you know what? You know what's funny? There are senses in here of very masculine 1960s notes, but subtle ones. And then, as this kind of progresses through time, as the legacy of the Rat Pack did, it lightens up and it becomes a little more floral and a little creamier. So it's definitely masculine, but I love that it has both senses. It has that character that's on stage singing those songs, and it also has sort of that backstage shuck and jive kind of Rat Pack pranks and practical jokes and laughing at each other kind of fun to it. That quality's in here because it's not like you were going to a Pavarotti concert when you saw the Rat Pack.
Right.
Yes, he was gonna sing One for My Baby and it was gonna draw a tear, but they were also gonna kind of be making fun of each other and having fun together on stage. And that quality is also like almost a cartoony quality is in here for that too. This is not a serious scent. This is a whimsical one. This is one you put on when you don't need to be taken seriously, when you're going to go out and have a blast and maybe go to a concert.
I feel like I'd be down. It's just interesting, too, because even like in the 60s, the normal clothing attire, there was much more thought put into your outfits.
Right.
But there were some personal little touches you could do. And I feel like scent could be one of those things.
All right. I want to see if you can describe this guy to me because this is amazing. See what you get.
That is an awesome picture, by the way. Good choice for the label.
I think that was taken at Columbia Records.
I think so.
Angeles.
Can you read it? It does have a C something on there. Okay, we'll see.
Owned by EMI Records, the same as Abbey Road in London.
Oh, there are a lot of layers here. I see what you're saying now.
Do you see those 3 juggling pins?
Oh, yeah. I needed a longer whiff. I'm actually very glad we have this splash. So thank you, Sean, because I feel this is going to be one, if it wore off, you'd be really sad. You know, sometimes you shave with one and you're like, I just need more of that in my life. This seems like it'd be one of those. But I do feel like this is a Marcus personality meets a Marcus clean scent. There's something on both sides that makes sense why you like it.
So glad you said that. Because some of my personality scents are like the Great Bear from Murphy and McNeil, but a super dense scent and not one that's at all clean or soapy. But then you have War Mr. Guards that's that beautiful sense of clean, and I don't know how you're doing it. You are right. This has qualities of both of those in here, and I'm not even sure how.
I don't know either, but as I kept whiffing, like, there was more. There's a sweeter side, but there's a cleaner side.
Yes.
And then there's just some bright fun, like you were saying. Like, I don't know if it's citruses or florals. Something in there is making you feel like you're sitting, you know when you hear music and you can't not move?
Right.
I feel like there's something with this scent that has movement to it. You said juggling, but there's something of just that, like, you kind of want to groove in your seat. You can't sit still. Let me see if I can tell you what that is, but that's what I'm getting. It's much friendlier and fun.
Yeah.
Than I was expecting.
Right.
Like, I just saw the black and whiteness of this, and I was thinking a little more dapper, put together, like business mode, Frank. But no, this is more the fun, kind of carefree, just rocking out to whatever's on kind of vibe. And there is a vanilla, there is a sweet, almost approaching gourmandy, not enough to take a bite. But I see if you'd had some vanilla ice cream on the counter and you got a whiff of it, it's around, but it's not the first thing you notice.
Right.
I do think it's a different floral, like one that we're not used to, or maybe a different citrus floral, like an orange blossom, something on the brighter side, because it's really welcoming. It brings you in. I don't think it's aquatic. You were right. I don't think it's quite aquatic.
It approaches it for me.
It does.
But it doesn't pay it off.
No, so if you're looking for an aquatic, I wouldn't say this is it, but it's a close kind of cousin. There's something that's bright and fun in here.
It goes sweeter without going as sort of bitter bracing as some of those aquatic florals and woods can go.
And there's not much in here that's dark to me.
Right.
I guess I just saw the black and white label and I thought there was going to be some more lights and darks for some reason. I just assumed. I still can't figure out how it's a 60s vibe, but there's something in here in the herbs or something in the middle that does make me feel like there is a little bit of this era coming through.
Now, with a fine fragrance, usually the scent notes are pretty hidden. They are clicking together so well, they make a brand new personality. You're not going to find your tobacco in there, even though it's listed.
Probably.
But shaving soaps are a little different. They invite you to dive in and sort of explore those scent notes. I find that these, the ones where my brain lights up, are sort of a crossroads of those two. Now, can you sense any individual scent notes in this blend?
I'm going to try, but I feel like you're right. There is a high tier perfuming grade that whatever's in here is blended so well, it's almost hard to pull out those three little sides to the scent.
But seeing as how the Rat Pack music is still super popular, I love that this, for me, is sort of the greatest hits of the colognes of the 60s, the 80s, the 2000s. For some reason, it kind of skips the 70s and the 90s.
Yeah, there's something in here that does qualify as more of a musky side of a scent, too.
A little bit.
At the very bottom, if I'm really digging.
Right.
So I think that's what's keeping more of the 60s-ish.
Right, like a white musk a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And it doesn't get it dark, but it does have that subtle, clean, but personality side that comes through.
And you know what I love about the florals? This does not happen very often, but I love it when the floral takes you up and you're sensing it more and more and more. And right about the time those little white florals can get sickeningly sweet, that scent is completely stopped and they are given this like candy metamorphosis in here. So on the top, you're just getting this creamy candiness that somehow the flowers have turned into and you're not sure how.
Right, and I think that's where our brain's trying to pull the vanilla out of there. Like something in that transition.
That's why she's here, because then that meets with the vanilla, and that's the character in this. Ooh, and I think there's one last little thing hiding in here, and it's Peter Lawford. Can we please see the scent notes? You know, Dean Martin's family swears at a stack of Bibles that he never drank alcohol on stage. It was actually apple juice in his glass, and the entire thing was an act. Okay. All right, y'all, back to the sales page at strikegoldshave.com.
Top notes of basil, bergamot, and lavender.
There's your barbershop. That's part of the clean I'm getting in this. Whoa, and then y'all strap in, there's like 80 more, but that's amazing. Hold on, do you get the basil?
I do, because I knew there was an herb, but I didn't realize which one, and that's probably why.
And it's only the very beginning wisp of basil where it's still sweet, because then it keeps smelling basil, it gets herby and it gets dry. It stays in the sweet part of the basil. That's very cool.
That's more the inviting part of the scent, I think.
Right.
And then, middle notes are, coconut, jasmine, heliotrope, here's the florals, May rose, I knew there was a rose in there, and violet.
Okay. Hold on. And y'all, these are being portrayed together. These are being listed as those three separate juggling pins that I was sensing. One of them is beautifully floral and citrus on top. This one, though, between the coconut segueing into the jasmine, that's how those florals are being candied and sweetened. The heliotrope, the May rose, and the violet, it's the coconut that's giving him the cream and the candy. Beautiful.
And there is a lot more ready for the base notes. Here we go. Tobacco, which you said. Vanilla, you said.
Yeah, hold on right there. Is there a sense of Tom Ford tobacco vanilla there? I'm not going to say no. It is that charming. It is that beautifully put together. And then...
here we go. Okay, here's a little more of the greeny side. I knew, again, it was there. I was wrong about the herby side, but here we go. Pine tree, vetiver, clove, cinnamon, ginger, pink pepper, patchouli, here is musk, oak moss, benzoin, and cedar. That's where the magic is all happening.
I don't have the strength. Okay, hold on. The pine tree is giving you the green in this a little bit the same way as polo green does. Do you smell that in the very center? This is not polo green by a country mile.
No.
But I think that evergreen, that pine, is
doing something.
vetiver. I don't even sense a grassiness in here. I think it's just sort of a silvery, watery sense under
I
it.
think it adds to the little masculine side, but it's
Right.
subtle. It's just a little greenish.
Now, I'm a little surprised by these next two
Yes.
because these are very strong singers and they are even stronger when they're a duet. This is clove and cinnamon, but how are you getting those in this?
I think it's the next two for me that disguise it, the ginger and pink pepper. Like all four, I think, to me, are just adding that bright white spice.
Right. And I love that they kept the rest of these in the bass notes with them because that's absolutely part of the amazingness of how this is being done. Some of those should have been mid notes, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're being used in their darker qualities, rounding it out with.
Patchouli, musk, oak moss, benzoin, and cedar.
Yo, where that patchouli and that oak moss are coming together is magical because, again, there's some movement there. Once it gets a little bit too dry in the oak moss department, the patchouli is there to sort of sweeten it up. Benzoin, almost sort of vanilla, sort of a human smell, and cedar.
Yeah, but overall, I think the musk is the one that kind of sticks between the vetiver, clove, cinnamon, that lane, into this one. Like, somehow I think that's what's helping them coexist.
Right. And y'all, we have a couple of new metrics that we're using for our soaps. And this kind of a scent is exactly why we introduced them to the show. But for those, we're going to have to take you a little bit deeper. Y'all, the first metric that we have started introducing is the cleverness scale, because we can have two soaps with almost identical scent notes, but the way they are constructed in one is just freaking inspired. So, where would you put the pack on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as cleverness of the perfuming? Let's give Roha Dove a little report card here. What do you think?
I want to say it's for sure kind of past that center, on like 3/4 of the way over. I think when we spell the splash, that'll confirm my guess on this number, but I think that's where I'm going to put it.
Yes, my inner child is going, this is why they started putting scent notes together. These kind of blends. There is just something magical about the movement. I can't even really pick out a single scent note because the personality is so present. And here's the thing. That personality is so fun and so clever and so smart and makes you feel the same.
Yeah.
I am so glad we have not built a lather yet because
Right.
now we can do this
It's
here. These are our bougie sticks from Amazon.com so we don't contaminate our soap with our sticky fingers. And would you like to tell the good folks where we got this most extraordinary brush?
Yes, this is from the Smaldridge family. Our first trotter brush. It's so gorgeous.
This thing, y'all, this is a synthetic nut, but somehow it is so luxurious. I like it better than the animal brushes.
It does. It is that luxury level of shaving here.
And this is our Haley's Artisan Fortune Teller bowl. Look at that. Doesn't look like it needs a crystal ball.
It totally
It's just
does.
beautiful. And to complete our Smaldridge trifecta, this was also a gift from Sean and Julie at the beginning of the show. This is our beloved bougie spare. So this is how we make our lathers here in the Barbershop Duet. We're going to really wet that soap with some nice bougie water sourced from Bougie itself, the small island fishing nation wedged between Latvia and Estonia. And then we're going to take this beautiful brush and start going one way and the back way just on the soap itself that's been slightly wetted. We're going to push down to see what the backbone knows, and then we're going to turn the brush. Okay, y'all, there is more than one road to Rome. You know, to get a sense of this, it's not the whole thing, but my brain just went, take 1 million elixir and add cherry.
You know, I just took a whiff of this, and as the ginger spices stuff I'm smelling coming off of adding just that little bit of bougie, some magic's happening.
I don't know how I'm getting a cherry sense, but I am. And when I smell for that 1 million elixir sense of those gorgeous sort of man-made herbs and spices.
I almost got like a
better say
dried fruit, maybe? Like, there's just something naturally sweet with those spices.
Yeah, and what I mean by man-made is like just when you walk into a beautiful art gallery and it just has a fabulous sense to the walls and the floor. That, it's not like a particular flower or herb or anything. It just is a man-made sort of clean scent. And then also in here is an equal and opposite amount of those natural candied herbs and fruits. And I love how those are both coming together in this. Oh, the Rat Pack, raw talent on the inside and gorgeous pressed tuxedos on the outside. Nature and man. There you go. We had a small cabin that we used to stay at on North Shore of Lake Tahoe. And once, when I was about 20, my dad took me down to the Cal Neva and showed me the little guest houses and said, you know, between that one and that one, there is an underground hidden tunnel that connects the two clothes closets. And they recently discovered it, and you can even tour them. And I was like, oh, what for? And he was like, well, when Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe would both get here to the Calneva, which I believe Sinatra owned at the time, the press would never see them leave their individual cabins. So, hey, they must have stayed in their own beds all night, right? And when Air Force One was parked at the Reno International Airport, and people were wondering why, well...
Okay, it's interesting because after reading the scent notes, there was a lot more written under the base. But for me, that midsection is really where my nose just wants to live and go back and forth.
And you can really feel those middle notes being pulled down by the base notes and being pulled up by the top notes. And I think that's why my brain gets this as a juggling act. All right, y'all, this is something you will only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the Frank Ordino with On 3, 1, 2.
A little of the sweetness is more here. That's brighter.
But this is more, I think, what I'd want on my shoulder. Just the notes are clicking together in that beautiful real world way. And just giving you that sense if you walk by somebody of like, wait, who was that? You wouldn't even really sense it, I don't think, as the scent. I think you would just take it in as part of the whole picture of the dude.
Right.
But isn't that why the Rat Pack is a perfect representation of this?
Yeah, I think this is more masculine here. Like the sweeter sides in the soap kind of started to dim a little.
Right.
So that the florals and the citruses really started to brighten up a little more over here.
And yeah, when we watch our Sinatra, Lennon do his shaving, we love that. But we don't do that here in the Barbershop Duet. We did realize y'all might want to see how this lather coats this dry moneymaker of mine. Look at this, y'all. Little face lather in there. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Here.
Oh.
Oh, it does smell wonderful. I'm getting more whiffs already. Nice and slick, thick base here, my friend.
Y'all, what a beautiful, beautiful scent this is. Do you get something a little gourmandy?
A little.
At the very end of that?
At the very end. And I don't know if it's like even just the ginger, like even the spices sides of it meets the sweet. There's something else that's kind of, not makes you want to drool, but there's just a little something that's like, you want to whiff more.
You know what I'm getting?
What?
Funnel cake. Smell right here.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but those sweeter citruses are definitely a part of that for sure. I was going to say don't spill it on the dog, but she's about to get a bath, so that's fine. Okay.
Oh! Whoa!
Yeah?
Different.
I was wondering if, she woke up. It smelled good,
The fruits, the woods,
the
spices, the tobacco.
Okay, now I feel like I'm visiting the Calneva. Like I just walked into that hotel and there is some glam and fun about to happen.
Oh.
Okay, those woods and the spices and all those base notes are way more potent here.
This is not a calming scent. This is an exciting scent.
Yeah, this in this formula reminds me exactly of this shot. Like almost like the carpeted walls in here. Like I don't know, that era of the 60s.
Right.
Somehow I can smell in this scent.
Be a great scent for a wedding or something like that. I want to go in and ask the Godfather for a favor.
Yeah.
He's got a cat in his lap.
You like it?
It is so different in the splash and yet just as beguiling. There's just more to discover. And the way that tobacco is sitting is
that's what
fabulous.
it is. I was thinking it was more the spices and the woods, but it's how the tobacco mixes with those.
What's binding him. It's not a lit tobacco. This cigar has yet to be smoked. It's still in Sammy's breast pocket.
There you go. But even the benzoine and the musk, like all of those layers are way more turned up in the splash.
And I get more of the 60s colognes from this and a little bit more of those 80s and 2000s colognes from this. Again, the 70s
interesting.
aren't really present.
No, I think we skipped the 70s, but I think in the splash I get more the 60s now.
Wow. So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be Don Rickles having dinner at the Beverly Hills Hilton, and you're going to see Frank Sinatra and his wife over there by the door. You're going to go up to him and say, hey, Frank, I'm trying to impress my date. When we walk by and I say hi, would you say hi to me, please? And Frank said, of course, Don, of course, I'd be happy to. Well, just as Don is leaving the restaurant and Frank stands up and says, hey, Don, it's great to see you. Don's going to say, hey, piss off, Francis. Can't you see I'm on a date and you're going to get your own? So, head over to Strike Gold Shave to find this and a bunch of other stuff I want. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with the pack. And I think what I love best about this scent, I love my homages. I love my original shaving soap world scents. Rarely do those two lines sort of intersect, where I feel like this could be either, but imagine if it could, because y'all, this is sitting right there at the corner of Frank and Sammy. I love this set, and every time I go to the locker to re-experience it and learn it a little bit deeper, there are new surprises to be found. This is like getting 12 soaps in one. Well, I guess so is the Rat Pack. Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Strike Gold Shave, for this amazing soap. Welcome to Messages.
So for our January giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get one of the inaugural soaps that they dropped over at Adopted Acres Soap Company.
Yeah, y'all, the site is live as of January 1st, and to be eligible for this giveaway, all you have to do is send an email here to WeSentYou@theBarbershopDuet.com so that we can get back to you. Check back in our first week of February to see if you are a lucky winner.
Best of luck.
You know, the one thing we forgot, the metric of crowd pleasing.
Ah.
And I'm actually thrilled that we didn't talk about it until right now. Because, y'all, I bring you glad tidings of great joy. This is the crossroads of two things you don't generally see. A very strong personality and a very high rating of being crowd-pleasing. I would put this at an 8.5 or a 9.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. Masculine, but friendly. Not always completely expected, but welcomed. And I think that's what makes it the great personalities. It's a little bit surprising, but it's beguiling in that surprise. Like, wow, this is clever. It's just going to remind you that you are well-dressed. You don't have a care in the world till you get home tonight, and you're going to enjoy whatever is going on stage. That is where this takes me.
And it's interesting. Some of the other cologne homages are more of like a jazz club vibe.
Right.
This one isn't. It doesn't have the smokiness. It doesn't have the nighttime side, where this one I feel like is like an all-day kind of
That's
thing.
an important distinction. Like Dink that we just did was
Right.
based on Jazz Club. No, this is
Different.
a vibe of these fellas. This
Yeah.
is not the theater where they performed so much. This is them. And y'all, if you're having a bad day, just remember that one concert when Sinatra was 80 when he was singing My Way and he forgot the words. The orchestra fell silent. The crowd fell silent. And then somebody in the back yelled out, "Hey, Frank, it's okay. We love you, Frank." And the audience stood up and clapped. And Sinatra kept singing for 4 years after that. That's what this soap makes me feel like. 'Cause
Right.
I've had somebody in my shaving mirror go, "Hey, Marcus, you're all right. We love you. It's going to be a good day." That's what this
Someone's
gives me.
got your back. Like, it's
Right.
going to be a good time. We got you covered. Just go enjoy yourself. It's going to be a
Love it.
good
And
day.
Thank you, Sean and Julie,
Yes.
for letting us know how much you have our back. This is phenomenal, and we are so grateful for you and your support of our little show this whole time.
I know, I can't get over like all these lovely little friends in our den that are sent from them. And I know we did look for the pack and it was already gone. So I'm glad you saw this and snuck it under our radar. It arrived and we were so surprised.
And Frank at Strike Gold Shave, thank you, buddy, for doing this extraordinary with Spumoni. Are you kidding me? We are so appreciative.
Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell more Rat Pack just watching this.